and welcome to another episode of What the Quad. Thank you for joining us. Today is a Women's Cup special, and we are really excited to be able to chat with some of the most talented pilots in the world, who happen to be women too. So joining us tonight are Silent from Raiden Racing, LaBeba, or also known as Leslie C. There's at some point you're going to need to tell me which one you prefer to be called. Do you prefer LaBeba or do you prefer Leslie?
LaBeba.
Okay. So LaBeba from SDT Perpetuumcoin and LeoOnFire from XBlades Racing. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to all of you. First question, Beba was actually asking this, or no, I think it was Leo. Where are you guys joining from? And how early or late is it where you are? Silent, you wanna?
Yeah, I'm in Connecticut on the East Coast, just north of New York City a little bit. It's 2 p.m., but I just woke up and I'm really tired.
I feel you. Beba?
I'm from where I'm from. Actually, I'm born in. Oh, okay. I'm living in California. There is 11 a.m. We live here for 20 years. I'm born in Tucson, Arizona. But when I was little, my dad was deported, and I'm growing up in Mexico, Sonora.
That sounds like such a cool country. It's always been on my bucket list of countries to visit. I've heard some truly amazing things about Mexico. And you guys are celebrating, I'm gonna butcher the Spanish way of saying this, but Días de Muertos, that's the one, right?
Yeah, Dia de Muertos. Look this.
What? Ah, you even have, that's so cool. Amazing.
I'm in mode.
Those are adorable.
Yeah.
Those are so cute.
Thank you.
Those are amazing.
Thank you so much.
I am a big fan. And LeoOnFire, where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm from Italy, the very south of Italy, and here it's almost 7 p.m. And like it's November, it should be very cold, but it's like no, I don't know. It's in summer. So.
What is your definition of cold? Because we had a debate about this with my kids.
I'd say cold for us is like 15 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like winter.
Yeah. For us, yes. We never see snow here. So.
Yeah, south of France, I think, is similar. It's not as far south as Italy, but it's also very rarely snows, and winter is like 15 degrees. It's great. But right now it's 15 degrees, and I'm like, we're not yet in winter. Wait, it's after Christmas that it gets cold. I still want to go out shopping. Cool. Well, I mean, firstly, massive congratulations to Silent. The three of you have been phenomenal all season. Like, there's no contest. I was going through the results, and all three of you had really, really great seasons. And talking with people, what I've heard a lot is also how much you've progressed over the past 2 years, because all three of you were in the Women's Cup last year, doing it again this year. And the results are getting tighter and tighter kind of as the cup moves forward. So obviously everyone's working really hard, and that's really great to see, because that was the goal of our cup, is to have some really great pilots. But a special congratulations to Silent for winning it for the second year in a row.
Thank you.
It was Go for it.
Oh yeah, it was a really tough season. I like when it was over, I was very happy for it to be over, because it was very stressful. To be honest, everyone was so fast. I mean, it was also a lot of fun, of course. But yeah, thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because every time we see you in interviews, you always talk about, it's stressful and there's great competition, which like no one's denying. But when we see you racing, you just seem to really keep it together. You have your little drink and you're just in the zone. And like, how? This is.
A lot of it for me is turning my brain off as much as possible and letting my instinct take over and my practice and training. Because if I think about it too much, I'll freak out. And so you'll see me singing a lot during my races. And so I have like a few of my favorite songs that I plug in. And I try to focus on the lyrics of those songs, honestly, because I know it once I start to think about it, that's when I start to make mistakes. So it's a lot of that, like turning it off. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, like leading up to it, my heart rate starts to increase. My palms start to get sweaty. I feel like super
Knees
confident
weak,
going
arms
into
are
it, but like
heavy.
exactly, mom spaghetti all the way. Yeah. I mean, like it's a wish wash of emotions. It's excitement, happiness, like fear and anxiety, and it's just trying to transmute that into speed, as much as possible.
I mean, whatever you're doing is clearly working. Let's see. Do you have any pre-race rituals that you do where, do you listen to music? Do you have a yoga mat that you take out and you do a few yoga poses? Like, how do you get into the right mindset for a race?
The first thing, put my cats outside in the room.
Same.
That's the first thing. Yeah, that's the first thing. Then maybe made a coffee, put some music, and clean my side, and made everything ready to to be relaxed and do this.
And do you while you're flying, do you listen to any music or is it just purely concentrated on flying?
Yeah, crazy music. Yeah, there is some music for like there is not rock. I don't know how can I call that music, but it's a weird music for me. But sometimes not sometimes they relax me and but I think the most as work is a coffee.
That usually does the trick. I drink a lot of Coca-Cola on race days. It's my anti-stress.
Coca-Cola. No,
Yeah,
no.
it keeps it's a mix of
I'm not
sugar
doing
and
any.
caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
No sugar. I don't like the sodas.
I don't drink soda like 90% of the time. It's just on race days. I
Okay,
know I
okay.
have
Yes,
to
yes, and right.
stay. And because sugar and caffeine makes you have a crash, right? Like it does a high, but then there's a crash. So every time you feel the crash starting, you just reload. And so I just and there's a lot of snacking involved. Like I have a table that's
Yeah.
always just full of like healthy snacks. I put like nuts and fruits and
Healthy.
stuff to make it exactly. I feel better about myself because they're there, but I will
But then
eat
you're
all the
chasing it with
chocolates.
Coca-Cola.
I read somewhere that it was like some social media post where it's like, I just realized that dieting isn't 6 meals of McDonald's and then one salad. Apparently you have to have salads the whole time. where I'm like, oh yeah, turns out you can't just eat bad food and every now and then slip in a leaf of salad and hope for the best. Doesn't work. Balanced food is the best. Luis, so LeoOnFire, what gets you in the zone on a race day? Is there music, any special rituals or anything?
I don't really do anything special. I don't know, I repeat my strategy because strategy is very important for me in a race. And I just keep repeating to myself that I can do it and it's all in my hands. So I just try to focus and that's all.
That's a really good mantra.
We love you, Luisa!
Oh, you too, Leslie. You know, I think until last year, I was a little afraid of crashing, also in real life. And I thought, but maybe if that happens and if that happens, but I understood that this is not helpful for me because you keep getting anxiety and that's not really useful. So I just prefer to focus on what I can do and give all the best.
And do you feel like you've been doing kind of the Women's Cup for 2 years now. Do you feel that in that time you've been able to grow as a pilot?
Yeah, sure. I noticed also in these last races, I got better because I used to crash a lot before, especially on the simulator. I always prefer real life races, but I knew I just had to improve also on the simulator, so I practiced a lot, and now I think I crash a little less than before, and I feel like I can keep my focus better than before. Yeah.
That's really great. And you've been
Also,
doing?
also,
Sorry,
also
go
when
for it.
when we are very close, like I then Rona, Leslie, it's very difficult to not get distracted and maybe crash. So that's I think that helped me too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't seen many crashes from you this year, so at least not on DC the game. I'm not sure about real life, but you've been doing, because I kind of, obviously we follow all of you on social media. And I like stalking every now and then because it's really great to see what pilots get up to and like accomplishments and stuff. And I'm always just there to hype up everyone. So you've been doing a few real life competitions, right, over the past few months?
Yeah, this year I was in Birmingham in July for the World Games, and it was an awesome experience. I don't know how to describe it because it was my first time in the USA, and all the pilots were the best pilots in the world. So it was very hard race, but I think I learned a lot of things.
Sorry, but that's really cool. And have you had an opportunity to meet each other in real life at any real life competition, or has that never? So Beba and Leo, I think you guys met. Was it a women's only competition or something like that? I think it was in Turkey.
Yeah, in March.
This year?
Yeah, it was March this year.
And did that go well?
I think 2 years. I don't know why.
No one knows anymore. Since COVID, everything's just one blur.
That's why this year. Yeah. We know each other in March in Turkey.
Okay.
That's my first no, it's my second international race in Turkey. And this past from July, my husband and I we went to the race for multi GP. And actually we just come to Florida too 2 weeks ago. There is another racing in for multi GP. My gosh, I'm not remember. There is um for I think this is the World Cup too, because I'm saw Minchan, Levy,
Okay.
and Jim. How can I call? There's I love that guy, and I can't remember his name. it's it's Jim Man,
Oh,
Shantu.
G-Man. Yeah.
Jim Man. Yeah.
Max.
That guy. Yeah, and that 2 weeks ago, that was my last real race, and
Yeah.
this November for 17 or 16 of this November, will we go to the national cup in Mexico, Querétaro.
Okay.
Ooh.
We yeah,
That's
my
very cool.
husband and I we go there. Yeah. I love to go to Mexico.
I wouldn't blame you. I would love to go to Mexico too.
Yeah.
Silent, have you been taking part in any real life races this year, or are you still sticking to sim? I mean, considering you're brilliant at sim, it wouldn't be.
So one thing about me is I have never flown a real life competition before. It was
Okay.
actually this year was just like a few months ago was the first time I flew a 5-inch in real life.
Okay.
I've been doing sim for like 6, maybe I guess 7 years now. Uh, and I just like it's always been a big money barrier for me getting into drone racing. It's expensive, um, and intimidating too with all the electronics and stuff like that. Though getting in the air for the first time, I was really or like on a 5-inch. I've flown like smaller 2 inches before, but I was really happy to know that like it does translate the skills in simulator to skills in real life. It translates pretty much 1 to 1. I was very surprised by that. I was very I always kind of had it in the back of my mind, be like, oh, once I get in the air, I'll like I know I'll be good, and I kind of am. And so this coming year, I definitely want to start doing IRL races. Um, uh, because it looks so much fun, and that's like just a whole different world. And I want to know that I kind of want to prove to myself that I would be good at that too. That I would be good at the real late races. But I think it will come to a big, I guess not too a big surprise. I think it'll be a huge challenge. It'll be a huge challenge. I think it's very different. I know it's very different. Everyone says it's very different. So I'm excited to jump into that journey. It's just I have so many other projects going on that require finances, and it feels hard to justify putting money into drone racing when finances are tight for me.
So you're a DJ as well, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if this is part of the project you were talking about, but how did you kind of get into that and what style do you DJ?
So so I DJ a lot of club music. There's this type of music called Jersey Club that I'm has a very
I have no
near
idea
place
what
to my
that is.
heart. It's a lot of fun. I would recommend looking into it. I also do some weird experimental, like ambient stuff, as well as just like normal techno and house music. I try to be all over the place. How I got into that is that's another whole wild story. I'm a couple years ago I got into virtual reality, like social applications of virtual reality, and I fell in love with this virtual reality club scene. Um, and so I do lots of work in that. Mainly, I do visuals for DJs. That's my main gig. And I help run a virtual reality club with a bunch of friends. And that's where my heart is right now. Is in this virtual reality club scene where anyone can be whatever they want, and we get to have these like fantastic worlds to have fun in, pretty much.
That is genuinely fascinating. I mean, I guess I kind of figured that's probably a thing, but it's like anything. It's all this new technology that it exists, people use it, but you don't know anyone who's using it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
it's growing, and we're starting to see like more like the real world take us seriously. Recently, the club that I run with a bunch of friends was featured at the Venice Film Festival, which is just kind of, I can't believe it. It's kind of wild to me. But yeah, that's where I spend most of my time, strapped in with a goggle, like with a headset on. Whether it's
so, I mean, to be fair, that would be a great translation into real life drone racing, because then you're already used to have the headset on and seeing things from another angle, whatever. You're used to working with a transmitter, so you'll be fine in real life. And I think someone in the comments said as well, everyone has to stop somewhere. But we had a question. Right, there it is. I love that we have this little feature where we can put the comments up. Leo, maybe you could start at this. How did you get into drone racing? What sparked it? And how long ago was this as well?
Well, it's a crazy story. I started flying drones in 2015, but I got into drone racing 2 years later. But the reason I knew about drones is because I don't really move. So my dad thought that maybe giving me a drone and making me move my hands would be helpful for me, like moving my hands and fingers so I could keep my energy. And I always loved sports, especially sports with speed or anything like motors and all that. So when I discovered drone racing, I just knew this was for me, and I didn't think twice before trying it.
It seems like a calling, I guess.
Yeah.
And you've won some of the, I think you're the champion of Italy, or like multiple times.
Well, yes, and actually I have a little news, because we finished Italian championship this year, and this is my fourth consecutive time as Italian champion.
You're so cool.
Congratulations.
You're so cool.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Oh, wow.
Fourth consecutive time. Look at you go.
It's unbelievable for me. I still have to process this.
I can understand why you're saying it's unbelievable, but from what I've seen you fly, it's pretty believable. an amazing pilot. I think Silent and LaBeba have had to live through that. Try to fight you off during races. So you guys probably know best. But congratulations on a very well-deserved title.
Thank you so much.
Beba, how did you get into drone racing? And how long ago was it?
Maybe 5 years ago. Okay. My husband got me into this, to the dark side, because Silent says this is too expensive. And 5 years ago.
And he was so your husband does drone racing too, right?
Yeah. He's a racing too.
Who's better between the two? Do you guys compete against each other?
Don't tell him.
You're better, aren't you?
Do you know the last video that I'm upload in Instagram? I have a lot of protests in my shirt right here, and I do this, like, saw him like that, and I told him, "You want me to dance you?" It's in Spanish, but it's more funny in Spanish because there is a movie. It's I think a show in television for bad girls, and for the guy give some money to the girl, and the girl say with the money in the hand. She said, "You want me to dance you?" But it's in Spanish, right? And I'm get all the propels in my shirt, and I told my husband, "You want me to dance you?"
That sounds like a energizing relationship.
Yeah,
how do you say it in Spanish?
The video, or
yeah,
the video. Oh, the video say in Spanish they say, "¿Quieres que te baile?"
It sounds so much nicer in Spanish.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, everything sounds better in Spanish. I'm a big fan of Italian too, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds similar, but not I don't know how can I say that. Igual.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same, but it sounds
I
similar.
was trying to learn Spanish too this summer, a little bit.
Oh,
how did you do?
Oh, nice, Luisa. Yeah,
just watching films and TV series. So
please
like
tell
that.
my videos too. Yeah.
I'm always impressed though. I mean, the two of you are a great example. English is not your native language, so Leo, you speak Italian and English, Beba, you speak Spanish and English, and it's incredible that you've managed to master 2 languages. And I see this, I mean, there are a lot of DCL pilots. Apparently we have to mention my languages, but it's not about me. I was born into a multilingual family. So I was born in
part
Kenya.
of the family.
No, like, I have a French dad, a German mom, and I was born in Kenya, raised in South Africa. So I didn't choose to learn languages. It just kind of fell upon me. There are videos from when I was like still learning to speak. My dad speaks to me in French, I reply in French. My mom in German, I reply in German. Just like from when I can't do that anymore. Because what happens with age, and I feel like people who speak multiple languages will know what I'm talking about, is languages merge in your head. And so you'll be speaking the language, and all of a sudden, the word that you want will come in a different language faster. So you'll be saying, "Oh, my name is..." Well, no, I'm trying to find it. It doesn't work right now when I don't think about it. But I'll be like DCL has a lot of Germanic people working there, so we'll be speaking German, and then quite often it switches to English because my English is just better. But every now and then, after like a year of living in France, French words will come, and I'm just like, what has happened to me? I'm now speaking French. I much prefer German personally, but Spanish and Italian are very cool languages that, being in the south of France, I'm kind of between both countries, and I try go to both regularly because they have very good food and lovely people in Italy, and food that I can eat less of, but still lovely people in Spain, and
I feel
very
you
nice
because
beaches.
yeah, I can feel you and what you said because I also studied languages at school.
Okay.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit of German and French and little Chinese. So I know how it feels when you search
Amazing.
for when you're looking for a word, a language, and you know the same word in every other language, but not that one.
I know. Yeah. I feel that. That's amazing. So what motivated you to learn that many languages? Are you just like passionate about languages, or what was the kind of
No,
idea there?
I'm just passionate. I always loved languages, and when I had the opportunity to choose my school, I just knew I wanted to study other languages.
That's
Let me
amazing.
tell you something about language. I think
Go for it.
I don't know where you say about that. If you can ask for food and you never die for it, you speak the language.
That's a valid point. I always tell people the best way
Yeah,
to learn a
yes.
language is to go to a place where they speak nothing else, like only that language. No one is bilingual or something. So go to a village in the middle of nowhere of a country that speaks that language.
Yeah.
And you'll be
And
forced to,
let,
because like you say, otherwise you can't eat, like if you can't speak.
let me tell you something in Chinese. 我喜欢你tío.
What does that
I'm
mean?
start learn Mandarin I don't
Mhm.
know years ago for improve my English. That means I like alcohol.
The important things.
Yeah, I
That is
want
amazing.
alcohol.
That's so good.
To be fair, I hear this quite often of people learning languages, at least as adults, who the first few things they learn is like how to order a beer, basically.
Or how to say cheers.
Una
Sure.
cerveza.
I like the concept of I really like the German, well, it's specific to South Germany, but I think you say it in all of Germany, Post. I always found that one quite cool, where you have these massive beer thingies and you cheers, and there's beer that goes everywhere because no one. Yeah. Oktoberfest is fun, but it is not clean. The the irony of all of this is every time we somehow end up talking about alcohol and drugs on this show, and I do not actually drink. I never have. But I keep encouraging underage children to drink, which is probably not like the best. But then I do a disclaimer where I say, kids, don't drink and don't do drugs. Stay in
There you
school
go.
and listen
Yeah.
to your parents. It's very
Mhm.
important. But as soon as you turn 18, or if in the US, you're 21, go for it. Get hammered and then learn
Safely.
to drink responsibly. Exactly. Do it in a safe environment. This is what
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
always taught. I was always taught that when you were going to do substances of different kinds. If you want to do it, you're going to end up doing it. Like, that's just the reality of it. So my parents always told me that if you're going to take anything that could be harmful in any way or form, do it in a safe environment. So if possible, someone's home or not the middle of the forest, basically, was like the general
or at a
concept
music
behind that.
festival.
Yeah, but don't they have like
Hmm.
medics and stuff at music festivals?
Depends on where you are.
Yeah, but isn't music festivals where they're like the most drugs? Isn't that kind of where like dealers make all their money?
Yeah, true. But test your stuff. Be safe. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are bad for you.
No. Yeah, especially if you're into drones, you don't have enough money for drugs anyways. So definitely just do drones, not drugs.
We should start a PSA.
No, let me tell you this fun thing that came to my mind. I remember like 3 years ago, I was still underage. I went to a German race. Oh, I think it was in Austria or something like that. And I got second place, and they gave me like a giant bottle of beer, and I didn't know what to do with that because I couldn't drink. So
Oh,
I was 17 with 3 liters of beer.
So, depending on the country you live in, I think for beer, at least in a lot of the Germanic countries, so Austria, Germany, I'm assuming Switzerland probably, you can drink beer when you're, I think it's 16, because beer isn't a real alcohol. So, or I'm just like, but sure. I think it's so ingrained into the culture of certain nations, well, the ones who tend to produce a lot of beer. The beer is just kind of like a staple. My dad's French, and when I was a kid, he made me try loads of different wines because that's like the very French thing to do. It's very stereotypical French. Like, he loves wine and cheese, and you could not get more stereotypical than my dad. Which is ironic because he hasn't lived in France since he was like... He has a red beret.
No.
He doesn't actually ever really wear it, I think, but he has one of those, and he speaks English, bless his soul. He tries to overcompensate for his French accent, and so it just sounds very funny. And I have to try really hard not to make fun of him, bless his soul. I love my dad a lot, in case he's watching. Shout out, Dad.
Why are you saying fish for A? Fish.
They're not fish. They do look like beta fish a little bit.
Really?
Which is cute.
It's
so cute.
Little skulls with the little dresses. That looks so cool.
I need to pierce my ears. I need to start putting dangling things on my ears. Yeah.
Silent, you don't have your ears pierced yet?
No, I don't know why not. Mainly, I have headphones on all the time. I feel like it'd be so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I do tend to, although it depends on which ones. I find that the studs, because it's like it just goes straight out, the headphones press against it, so it'll like go on your neck. But the ones that are like round, like where the, it's like round type thing that holds in your ear, when you're wearing headphones, it doesn't press as much. Also, they tend to be thinner, so you don't feel it really. But I have a collection of earrings. Like they're color coded and size coded.
Yes. I want to start
I
collecting.
had
Yeah,
to.
I want tinglies so bad. There's also like I was when I went to college for audio engineering, and I was like always like just kind of wary of like changing the shape of my ear or adding anything because that will change how you hear things, and having to like have a very tuned ear was very important to me for a very long time. But now I want tingly. I just want to decorate.
But does piercing like the earlobe affect your hearing in any way? Because I would understand the ones where it's kind of closer, but surely the lobe doesn't
A
affect
little
it in
bit.
any way?
I mean, maybe I'm like kind of like thinking very obtuse about it, but anything. I mean, like your whole ear is like this, parabolic dish that's collecting audio. Your earlobe too, um, and so I don't know why. It was just a silly thing that I was very worried about for a long time.
No,
But
fair enough.
now
I mean,
audio engineering isn't really my main thing nowadays. I'm just like, frick it. I'm gonna like just get tons of piercing in my ears.
do I actually have that more with my glasses, that the headset like pushes on my glasses, which is really uncomfortable. I haven't found a technique for that. But for earrings, you do have those clip-on ones. Like I buy a lot of stuff on Etsy, and a lot of the sellers have an option of the one where it's like if you have your ear pierced, and the same one in a clip-on version. I've never found clip-on to be particularly comfortable, but like I know there are loads of people who don't. So yeah, if you're interested in earrings, I guess this is a general PSA as well. If you don't want to pierce your ears, because it is very painful, and like Silent said, it can affect, doing any alterations to your body can affect different parts of your body. Yeah, clip-on earrings are a solution that are actually quite common, and you can get some really cool earrings. But yeah. Leo, is that kind of do you like ever accessorizing with things, or is it one of those where you're like, don't particularly care?
No, I like them. I usually I don't want the earrings to be heavy, so I usually
Yeah.
put something very small.
So like a nice kind of small bracelet or necklace or something that would be a bit better. I used to wear so many bracelets.
Something small.
When you guys were young, did you all have this plastic bracelet trend where the bracelets would be a shape like of an animal or something? And then you put it in your hand and it just looked like a plastic band, but when you take it off, it would make that animal shape again?
Silly bands is what they were called here.
That was a
It was
thing.
huge. Yeah, it was a very silly thing. That was like, that's something that probably like should have lived in the 90s, but for some reason was in the late 2000s.
Yeah. I remember this. Every now and then, like, so I'm on social media a lot, as pretty much everyone knows. And you come across these posts of like, oh, remember your childhood or whatever, and it shows these random things that like I'd completely forgotten, but they were all the rage when we were young. And I was just like, how did that become a thing?
Why did anyone care?
Yeah, it's just so dumb. And this is the thing, like I look at kids today where I'm like, oh, that's so dumb, whatever. And then I try to remember when I was like a kid, and I'm like, yeah, no, we really weren't much better, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
Teenage years were not glorious times. But there was an actual drone related question that is related to real drone stuff. How do you train, and do you have good habits to recommend to aspiring pilots? So Silent, do you want to go on that?
I mean, so I could only speak to training for simulator. One thing I like to do a lot is I change up tracks all the time. I don't want to stick around very long on one track. Usually in the DCL format of like you do this like warm up for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, however long it is, and then I will race that track 3 times, usually with friends, and then move on to the next one. Another big thing for me is like flying as many new tracks as possible. I for sim racing personally, I want to get good at learning tracks very quickly. And so I don't grind on, I don't do leaderboard grinding on tracks. I don't really see the benefit for like racing in tournaments and stuff like that, because it's usually a different track every time. You don't, it's kind of rare to um, have a track that sticks around for 2 years and then you're like racing that again. And so I try to mix it up as much as possible. Usually that means I have to create my own tracks because I'll race through all the ones that have existed. But I mean that's my go-to. And also um, I have a coach, which is really nice. My partner is my coach, and she helps me point out like what I could be doing better. Helps me like tells me to slow down and focus on my lines and stuff like that. So having an outside perspective is really beneficial, I think.
2 follow-up questions. One is your partner, do they have any experience in sims or drones or something? Or is it like a complete outsider perspective of someone who's not necessarily knowledgeable but can pick, the things? So
My partner is Sarah, and she races for Raiden as well. And so we
I'm
race
getting gossip.
together.
Okay.
You are getting gossip.
I did not know this.
Yeah. Some people know, yeah.
I'm very much shipping this. I'm sorry. I tried to hide my excitement. I mean, yesterday I found out that my friend has gay snakes, and it's like the revelations. Oh, it's a very funny story, but we're gonna focus on.
It's amazing.
So it is. Oh no, it's amazing. It was my favorite story of the week, except this now. But no, I love it when people through the kind of community become, even if it's just friends or whatever, but the fact that the drone community allows to create bonds across the world and people helping each other out in different ways, I always just found that makes this a really special community. Leslie also has her husband who's drone racing as well, so it's really cool that but yeah, it's cool. And the second follow-up question was, so you do a lot of track design. For those who don't necessarily know Silent, she is a brilliant track designer who you're kind of Raiden's resident track designer, aren't you?
Yeah, we have a few in Raiden that design tracks, but I'm the one that usually pushes it. Vicent is always hitting me up and being like, I need more tracks, like and so I do it for Vicent.
To be fair, well, it's working because he is one of the best pilots in the World Championship, so you're obviously doing something right. I think, I mean, this is still a work in progress that you and I had been talking about, but that we could possibly do kind of a Race with Raiden type series on DCL the game where people get to experience, it's not just Raiden, but the general community can try some of the tracks you create.
Yeah,
which would
and
be really cool.
I definitely, because like when I got into drone racing, I on the DRL sim, I fell in love with track design, and kind of like I fell in love with pushing the whole scene together and giving them obstacles that they've never seen before, and trying to come up with like new ways just to push everyone. Um, uh, at the end of the season, a DCL season last year, leading up to the beginning of the season, I was very busy with personal projects. But I think this year I have a lot of spare time, and I do want to start to give to the DCL community. Like I want to give back a lot, and kind of start to push the scene, and hopefully get people flying tracks that I create for DCL. Maybe I could upload them, like throw it up into the Discord, or I don't know if like we do have like track creation, but if like maybe if DCL kind of had like a featured track, or kind of like was able to, and also because I would love to get see lots of people create tracks and have them out there. It's such a unique experience in the drone racing scene, and I don't think a lot of people get to have that opportunity to create tracks, especially at the scale that DCL has. And you also learn a lot about racing through track creation. So I encourage anyone to get into it.
How does one start? Like, should one watch a tutorial, or is it just one of those open the thing, put a bunch of obstacles, and hope for the best, and learn essentially from just doing?
I think you learn from doing, and you definitely learn from like kind of your preferences and what you like to fly. I think pinned in the DCL track creation channel on Discord is an hour long. I think it's an hour, maybe it's shorter. Is a tutorial on how to get started, because you have to use like Unreal Engine. It's a little clunky to get used to it, but once you get the hang of it, it's very simple.
Awesome. Just a short DCL plugin here. The DCL are actually looking for freelance track designers to work for DCL on a part-time basis. So if any of you are interested in that, you can send your CV to, I think it's office@dronechampions.org. I'll write it in the comments. But yeah, just give a little background on why you want to be a track designer at DCL. Just a general PSA to everyone watching. If you want to get more involved, we are looking. But there's, I just wanted to, the Spain drone team are in the house. They're in the comments over there, cheering on Leslie. And they say that she has her own tracks for training made by the team. So do you guys also in in SDT, do you guys also have someone who makes tracks to help you? Oh, I think Leslie's mic might not be working.
I'm here.
Oh wait, no, it's working.
I'm sorry. That's because
we were gonna get there.
No, I muted because they say there is some music, but I don't have any music right here.
No one has.
I don't know. No.
So Beba, who? Producer Freshie is obviously on. Yeah. Beba, do you guys have someone in Spain Drone team who makes tracks, or are there multiple people? Like, do you have anyone there?
I'm not sure. Sometimes in my first year with a team, Salvador made some very good. Oh no! I have hard works in DCL, and Salva do the tracks. He's very good.
Okay.
He's very good. Yeah, and
Really?
he has a lot tracks. Good, hard good tracks for training.
That's good.
Yeah. And for the guy that he write about tips for improve the fly for sims, I think if you sometimes when I'm talk with my friends, they ask me from where I'm get more time to training, right? Because I do a lot of things in all day, and I have 4 kids, 3 cats, 2 dogs, 1 husband. And I don't have too much time, but when I was cleaning my house, I put my computer in the kitchen, and when I made the food and everything, I get 10 minutes from here, 50 minutes from there, and there I'm get time for training, right? But if you think I have 30 minutes to training for today, the best thing or the best tip that I can give you is if you have 30 minutes, take 10 more, 10 or 50, and training. The most you can training is the best tip.
I feel like that's a recurring one. Time is always your taking time to train. Leo, what would your tips be to someone who's starting out and wants to get better?
I'd say, first of all, maybe find a group or some friends to fly with, because, people that fly and have more experience than you can always help, especially if you're the first time that you fly. You can not know something, and maybe you can ask, so that's helpful. And don't be afraid of breaking anything, because that may stop you. And just fly, enjoy, and keep your focus on flying. Just you can do specific training. And for example, I usually practice on be consistent and to be the fastest I can in the shortest time. So you have to have a goal. If you have a goal, you know what to do. So I think that's the best thing.
That's a very good point. We actually have some footage from your some in real life racing of yours. So so we can see how amazing.
Yay.
I mean, we know this, but so what? Oh, this is like compilation of different. I love the photos.
Yeah, that's all the crashes in that race. And I also want to say that I love this video because Silent let me use her music, and so this is special for me.
The Leo Silent collaboration we never knew we needed, but are very happy to have. God, you're so good.
I remember this race was 6 laps, and at the end my hands were dying.
That does sound very long.
Yeah.
How do you know what lap you're on with 6 laps? Like, how do you keep track?
Yeah, it's very difficult because you're focused on racing, and you can be at the wrong lap and maybe stop earlier than what you're supposed to. So I always ask someone to tell me when I finished, but I still try to to count my laps.
I would be so lost by now. Just be like, which way am I supposed to go? Yeah, Silent,
Oh my gosh, Luisa.
I muted myself.
Yeah.
Aww. Incredible.
Truly.
Yeah, you're
Very
a brilliant
nice.
pilot.
Thank you so much.
That race looks so intense because you're constantly, there's no straights, right? You are constantly putting some kind of input in. It's incredible. Like in DC, a lot of the DCL races, there's like a few times where you have like a 4-second like mental break because there's just a straight for 4 seconds, and you don't really you could just kind of like just take a breath in that moment. But like, I mean, I like LaBeba and Leo. I have such respect for the IRL races because it's so much tighter. It's such a different thing. It is you are constantly having to be in that race. There's no breathers. It doesn't seem like. Whereas compared to like DCL, these kind of large format races, there's a little bit more leeway.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Lisa, you're really incredible. You made me throw up.
No, thank you so much.
You know what? I have a problem to see another person flying. I have 5 years flying, and I can saw another people to fly because I don't know why. I don't know what happened in my mind, because sometimes my husband told me, I'm not bring my SD card in my goggles, please record me. I can't record you. I can't. Sometimes I force myself to saw because I need to learn tracks, right? But I feel so bad all the day. But it's part of the show.
Yeah, the track was really technical, and there was no straight line, so I was constantly giving inputs like, now let's go right, now let's go left. So it was crazy, and I remember it was very difficult for me because I get tired really easily. So it's a problem for me to keep flying for a long time. And when I knew there were 6 laps, I was like, oh my god, how do I do this? So, and I was in the finals. So I just thought, okay, I just have to give all I have, and I don't know, let's see what happens. And there were so many battles in that race, and by the end I was really dying. But I got 3rd place, so.
Oh wow!
More than okay.
That's amazing. And there's
nice, Luisa.
There's a question for you. In real life, do you race analog or digital? So I feel like I would get so motion sick with the goggle noises and glitches. Quickly, what's the difference between analog and digital?
Well, first of all, digital allows you to see better, and you should have less less noise on the video, and you should be able to go even further than with analog. But the negative part is that maybe there is a little bit of latency, and personally I use analog for more reasons. First one is that my goggles don't have to be heavy because otherwise I have some problems, and I always used analog, so it's okay for me to keep using that for now. And also because most pilots in Italy are still using analog, so there's no reason for me to change that at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe next year or in 2 years, I don't know.
Fair enough. Spain drone team say that you're a great pilot. They met you at Birmingham and they were very impressed as well.
Thank you so much.
There's a question about transmitters as well. So, oh, why is it me? Because we were talking to Luisa, I figured it's a segue into the. LaBeba, what transmitter do you use? Do you have it with you so you can show everyone? Ooh, in red.
Same as me.
I like the red.
But I think to change the free sky because my husband bought 1 week ago the free sky, the new free sky, and it's awesome. But for now, I'm using this.
Oh, it's very nice. Does it work like you need it to work?
Very nice. Very, very, very nice. And I recommend you if you don't use the little gum in the stick, I recommend you. There is another. You don't know the movie for Avatar? They use the something like that in I don't know the hair, and they connect something to the animals or trees.
Yeah, like
you feel
like
something
this.
like that. You feel something like that with this. More connections with your drone.
Very long hair.
Yeah. How is your hair so long?
I love.
I've been trying for years.
Yeah, it's more than 1 meter and 30, I think.
What product do you use?
What?
I need your secrets.
Well, I actually have no secrets. I just don't cut it since, I don't know, it's been 6 years.
What? If I don't cut it, it stops growing.
No, I don't know. It keeps growing and it's healthy, so.
You were blessed with beautiful hair. It's truly, I'm a little bit envious. Silent, do you have your transmitter ready to show, or do you want to just talk
Oh, I
about
do
what
actually.
transmitter you use? Oh, you do have it.
I use a very cheap transmitter called the Jumper T Lite.
Oh, that is like
nice.
Yeah, it's a nice gaming form factor. I also am a thumber, and I use thumb pads, which is some people that's sacrilegious to them. That's like a no-no, but I don't know. I perform well with it. I want to switch to pinching though, because I feel like thumbs is where I'm lacking, in like gaining like a little bit more speed.
Do you think the pinching changes this, like that it would go faster that way?
I think like people like have more fidelity. I definitely like there's times where my thumbs do slip. There's I like my brain was always like, oh, if you use the less like less muscles, then your brain will operate faster. I don't think that's true. So I think there's more fidelity in using like pinching. But I know Minchan like switches between thumbs and pinching like over time because like one will get tired and then they'll switch to the other, and I'm just like, so I don't know if there's a difference. I want to try pinching and see if that helps just like lock into tighter turns and stuff like that. I mean, like watching the rest of the competition take ladders and stuff like that, so freaking tight. They're just hugging these things so tight. I just I'm I'm desperate now. I'm desperate to try anything to gain that more speed. It's it's hard when you get to that like last like 1% of racers of like it feels like a whole nother ladder to climb. Like I got all the way up here, but like looking at the fastest pilots in the world, I it's almost like doing the 6 years of work I've done again to like trying to get. It's wild watching some of the faster
Do you
pilots.
feel like progress is one of those where at the beginning, it's really hard getting to the level where you're at now? Like you say, it did take 6 years and everything, but that it wouldn't take you as long to get to their percent because you're already in it and it would just kind of be following the momentum that you already have? Or do you feel like it really is that an extra push that would, like, I'm not saying it's not hard work, but like how hard is the work to get there?
It feels like like that extra push. I feel like I've been in the top like 200 sim racers for a very long time, and just like getting into like the top 25 seems really wild. I feel like there's like a lot of like you know, destroying your bad habits. Like that's one thing for me is like I like to take certain maneuvers certain ways, and because it feels good and it's fun, and I am starting to understand that's not the fastest way to do it. And uh like one thing I've been practicing lately is blind turns, is like when you like have to like pretty much enter a gate flying backwards. It's just like a whole another set of skills that I have yet to unlock. I don't know if Leo and LaBeba feel the same way.
Leo, do you do, wait, what is it? Pinching or thumbs? Is that what it's like? What's the exact?
Yeah, I use thumbs.
Okay.
I always use thumbs. I don't know, it's natural for me. I didn't really think about it at the beginning. But if I tried now to fly pinching, I would just go crazy. I tried once, and it was impossible for me. I, I can feel the
Hermosa.
drone. I can feel the drone saying, because when I fly, using thumbs, and for example using the throttle stick, I know exactly where my thumb is, and so how much throttle I'm giving, and it's like I can feel it under my finger. And if I use pinching, I just don't. I can feel it.
That's fair enough. Do the people who do pinching, because like you said, your most natural reflex would be to do thumb, but the people who end up pinching, do you think they like force themselves to learn that, or like how easy is it to go from one to the other?
I don't think it's easy at all. You have to force yourself. If you start one way and then you want to change, it's like starting from zero again. For me, it would be like that. So I guess it's similar for everyone.
And
there's definitely not like a one right thing. I mean, because there's fast pilots that do all of it. I feel like a lot of people say do what's comfortable to you. I've heard lots of people that would switch and feel like they did better, or they people in the chat are saying I switched and I didn't like it, and I think it's important though, to be open to like changing like the different ways that you fly, but only if it is beneficial.
Unless you're MCK, in which case your way of flying seems to be working. I don't know what he does, but it's insane. In the kind of similar but slightly different direction, I'm actually quite positively surprised how much on topic of drones we're staying this week, because I don't know if you guys tuned into the past few weeks, but we didn't often stay on the topic of drones, so it's good to be technical. But I guess it's more of a personal question. So factually, there aren't a lot of women in drone racing. It's not an industry or sport or whatever you want to call it, where we see a lot of women present and even less women who are actually making it, just because, statistically, obviously, if there are less people, they're less likely to make it. What has been your experience as a woman in this world? And do you find that since you've started competing professionally, winning or, making it on podiums and things, that you've started seeing more women also in the sport? I don't know, Silent, maybe. Oh,
I
sorry.
think it's not for big woman. I think I have some problems sometimes because I'm 40 and my time is not accessible for the hobby sometimes. And the good thing for me is my husband fly too. And if I don't have time to go to make time for drones or for the simulator, he told me, you know what, don't do this or don't make this, and come with me, and you need to for example, this week I don't have any drones to go to Mexico this November, and he told me that what exactly do you need for fixing your drones, and what exactly do you need, right? And I told him, you know what, I don't have some things, and I don't have time for fixing. And he told me, you know what, today don't do nothing, do this and fix your drone, and I do this. I'm clean, I do this, but take your time. And when you when the guys are little, they have time. They have time, and they have time to learn, because silence, as he say, is not only learn about drones. You need to know the programs, the circuits, the everything about your control, your goggles, and there's a lot of stuff to learn for fly a drone. And that's why it's not. I have problems. I was have problems. Not for be woman. It's for time. I think.
Okay. Do you think it's also related to age, because you're, like you say,
For
you
my
have
age, yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
cats, dogs,
Yeah.
husband, that you have to?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. So props to you for dealing with all of that and
Yeah.
still.
Don't get married.
That's unfortunate. I'm planning to next year. I don't think he's watching, so maybe we should yeah. I'll learn drone racing instead. Start a career.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bless you.
I have the cats already, though. I can choose to not get married because it's not done yet, but the cat's already here, so I do have to take care of them.
They're not your cats, they're his cats.
No, they're mine. I mean,
okay.
technically, like, we adopted, well, 2 of them we adopted together on the technicality of the thing. I really hope he's not watching. But
yeah, that's a big problem.
But I do work from home, so on a practical level, it's just like factually, I spend more time with them. Obviously, when you work from home, you're at home, therefore you get to spend more time with your animals. That's kind of how it works. And so the kittens just kind of chill with me while I'm working. Every now and then they try to break something, so I have to interrupt whatever I'm doing and stop them from breaking something. But yeah, but the older one, her I've had since forever, since way before I even knew my fiance, and she's very cute. This morning she came to do a cuddle, and she like did the thing, you know, when cats like they kind of rub their heads like that against you, except she did it on my little face, and I was just like,
Oh.
it was very special. Yeah, my history with cats.
I love cats. I
They're
never
the
was
best.
have a cat, and last year the boyfriend of my daughter, he told she, you know what, I found 2 cats and I don't know what can I do with the cats, because I have 8 cats and my mom say no more cats in the house. And she told me, can I bring cats to my home? No, because I'm allergic. I have a lot allergies. If you bring a cat to the house, you will kill me. And I need to go to the doctor to get a medicine and pills, and I have everything to control my allergies. But I'm so happy with my cats right here.
No.
I
I
love
get
cats.
you.
I love it. I love it. It's the first time that all my life I have I was have a cat, and they are awesome, awesome, awesome. Uh, they they're acting. I love everything about cats. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about cats. I'm allergy. I will die with a cat, but
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Cats are
I
the
mean, if I die
best. I love every
suffocated by a
version.
cat, I'd be like, it's a good way to go.
Yeah,
Okay
exactly.
with that.
Yeah.
You know, when they fall asleep in your lap and you're like, I guess I live here now because I can't move. There's a cat in my lap.
Producer Freshy knows this, but the other day I wanted to take a lunch break, and one of my cats had just kind of gotten on my lap and was purring, and so I was like, oh well, no lunch break then. Just stay here. uh, but yeah, such as the hazards. Leo, do you have any pets?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs and
Okay.
a cat too.
Oh.
Yeah, but they get on well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like when the cat goes around the house and the dogs follow him, they seem like it's bodyguards. I don't know, they're just so funny.
Are they big dogs?
Now they're pugs.
Ah, okay, so
Oh.
it's quite
Yeah, they
small.
yeah, they're so cute.
Plus, that looks like it would be such a cute little family with the cat in the middle and the 2 little pugs, and they're all
Yeah,
walking.
just like
Definitely
that.
straight out of a Disney movie.
Yeah.
I did
And
have an actual
never
question, but I forgot what it was.
never
Go, Leslie.
never forget the other babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are babies too. There are babies.
You live
They
and
was
breathe for them.
fixed yesterday.
Ah.
And
Oh.
I just bring this little one.
Ooh.
This 3 inches because, and I need. We're looking for 15 grays to the camera, and I can found some 3D printers from file for 3D printers for this camera for a 3 inches, and I could some for another thing for 3D printer. And when how can I call the thing that I'm solding? That thing, I don't know, the little, how can I call that? Okay,
metal?
The soldering
that's solding.
iron?
That's yeah, the soldering iron.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put this little thing right here,
Mm-hmm.
and I made it for a 15 degree.
Oh, so you use your
so
soldering
it's like
iron to melt the plastic to like get it. That's amazing. That's brilliant.
smart.
Yeah, that's my little one. It's my
It's
pet
a
too.
little baby. The one thing I'm always impressed with drone pilots is not only do you guys, I mean, the ones who fly in real life drones, not only do you guys know how to fly like really well, but you can also like make drones, repair drones. Like it's how, what, like it's a, because that in itself is a skill, and it's really impressive that you kind of managed to do that yourself. Props to all of you. Literally.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
but yeah, it's more satisfying too. If you build your own drone and then race with that, and maybe you win or you get a good result, then you feel more satisfied, I think, because you put a lot of effort into this, so it's worth it.
But how do you start learning? Do you just kind of take an iron and hope not to burn yourself? Or do you do it with like someone who actually knows how to do it, who can teach you? Or do you do like most people these days and go find a YouTube video that teaches you how to make your own drone and
YouTube.
learn like that?
Yeah.
No,
YouTube videos.
I go, Leslie.
No, Luisa. No. Go.
No, I
Your English
was
is
just
much
saying.
better than me.
No, I was just saying that personally, I'm very lucky because my dad works with electronics and all that
Oh, okay.
stuff, so he knows exactly what to do. And I think if it wasn't for him, maybe I wouldn't be here doing this sport or racing. Maybe I wouldn't really fly. So it's thanks to him.
It's really cool that you have your dad who's helping you. It's always great when you have family and friends that are helping you in your passion, I guess. Leslie, you wanted to? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the hard thing that was when you try to bind your control to your quad, and you need to know what your BTX is, where's the yellow cable, if you are in channel 1 or channel 2 or channel 3. If you put the yellow cable in the channel 1, but if you control is in channel 2 and Betafly is in channel 3, never work. And when you know that things, saw videos in YouTube, or Josh Barwell, and is that in our first year, my husband and I, the first year was very, very hard because you think this BTX is not working. This make with BTX the same thing, not working. But they work, but we don't know about the channels and the connections, the bind, and a lot of things if something is different in a butterfly or your drone, that you never was buying the everything. It's the circuits and the size. No. The circuits in your drone and the things in your control, and plus everything in Betafly or whatever your how can I call Betafly? It's not a website. It's a yoga. It's a website, but
it's software.
That software. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
software for flight controllers. Yeah, if whatever the software you use, because there is another software. There is a Betafly, a Butterfly. There's another. There is that red one. I don't know how can I call that. That first one that we use it in the first year. I'm not remember, but I know 3 of them. Something like Betafly, but there is very very difficult to learn everything about the circuits with the how can I call that? The Betafly.
The program.
The programs, yeah, the programs, yeah. That's the most difficult to learn, I think. Most that you can fly, because when you get the passion for fly, and you have your goggles and your control, the first time when you go up, you love that. You love that. You will love that and start no, it's not easy, but it's very passionate. And when you love something, it's not work. It's not hard.
That's true. But yeah, then it's you don't. I guess I think you realize it's work, but also yeah, I did ask the question. So Weber, you kind of responded your story, but Silent, I'd like to get your opinion on this as well. How do you see the future of women in drone racing and that just in general?
I like the one thing that I like, the kind of like goal I have like racing in DCL and kind of promoting the women's sport is like I want more women than men in the DCL Champions Cup. That would be like that's my goal.
We're
I think
taking
like
over.
yeah, yes. I think like just I think the most important thing that happened recently is like fostering better community for women in the sport. I think like that's the most important thing, is making sure that women are welcome in these spaces. Um, uh, and I think we're seeing that now a lot more, especially like there's the women's in multi GP group. It seemed like at multi GP champs this year there was lots and lots of women. I think the like just exposure is very important to getting more people into the sport. A lot of people are like, a lot of women were flying, and now they want to fly again because they see that there's a better community for it. I just want to see women take over. Honestly, that would be nice to see.
So this is why the men fear us. They know that we're coming for world domination.
Exactly. Yeah.
Louisa, do you feel like, especially in real life competitions that are, open to everyone, do you feel like you're seeing more women over the course of the past few years? Especially, do you think a lot of kind of young girls are also noticing joining? or do you feel like it's still not quite there?
No, the past 2 years, I think, I've seen a lot more women than before. I remember it was like 4 years ago. We were in China for the World Championships, and out of 128 pilots, there were only like 12 women, and it was so sad. So I'm really happy that more and more women are joining us, and I think it's very important to support each other and create communities, because as we were saying before, you have to have some technical knowledge, and sometimes it's not really easy, especially for women that maybe are not into that and maybe don't have the basic knowledge. So if someone of us can help, it's very important.
Yeah, it's really cool that it's gotten to that. I mean, I think it's no secret to anyone that I've always been advocating for equality in the sport, and I was really happy that we got to put together the Women's Cup to give more visibility to some extremely talented pilots, because there are, and I've always said this, the Women's Cup was never about doing segregation of any kind. Absolutely anyone is welcome to participate in the World Championship, but women are underrepresented in the sport, and doing a Women's Cup was our way of saying, look at these great women, you can be a pro pilot too. Look at these people who can be your role models. And the three of you, as well as all of the other pilots who are flying in the Women's Cup, have been excellent role models, and the three of you since 2 years. So I can't thank you enough for what you've done, potentially unintentionally, for the sport. But we have a video actually of the final race of this season, where in Stavanger region, it was the final heat where Duana, our young prodigy extraordinaire, kind of took us all by surprise this year, had been knocked out. And so it was a final of Silent against Leo for the first time in a while. And it was good to see the good old days were back. So enjoy some spectacular racing, dear Twitch chat.
Yep.
And you two, feel free to walk us through this.
I want to say that this was a great battle, and I had so much fun racing with Silent. It's just so
racing
crazy.
With you. Our races are always so good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is when Duan is still in there. Okay.
Okay. So here I'm freaking out.
You're first though. But yeah, everyone's on your tail.
Yeah, and also I think like if I crash this race, Duana could have taken the championship.
This is true. No, I think by this point, Duana already you'd already won the championship, but it was more about winning the race. No, you had quite a few more points because of the one race where she wasn't able to connect. She had some technical issues. And you won that, so... Oh, that was so close. Oh, look at you celebrating!
Because, yeah, I wasn't so sure on the math, and I was asking my team, like, hey, like, how many points do I need? How many points do I need? I had no idea. And then in that moment, I knew for sure that I would have the title, which was just, again, just mind-blowing. I think Leo said earlier, like, it's hard to believe it. And I don't think it's like I understand my skill, but it's hard to believe that this is what I'm doing with my life, kind of like feel. And then to win is just like it's unreal. It just doesn't feel real. It's a very special thing. This community is so cool.
There it is. I love rewatching these. This was such a cool track. Like I'm not knowledgeable on how easy or difficult tracks are because I'm terrible at all of them. But for me, the dive I've always found fantastic on this one.
Leo is just gaining and gaining and gaining. Oh wow!
I remember all the time we were racing on that track. I was getting FPS drops, and I was thinking, what can I do to be like in front of, to not be eliminated? And I was thinking and thinking with each hit, and I was 5th and 4th, and then I had to think of something to go to the final. And I remember thinking, okay, the dive is my only chance, because it was the only point where I had better FPS. And then again, at the end of the dive, on that slalom, vertical slalom, the screen, like, it was freezing every time. So I knew I was about to lose some time. And I tried to push everything on that last dive, but that battle was really crazy.
The races this year were so tight and so good. That was the most exciting racing I've ever done was this season. It was so cool to battle. Yeah.
I don't know how you guys control your nerves. I don't know. I'm what I was do everything. Gum, music, coffee, Red Bull, alcohol. Again. I'll try
Kids,
everything.
don't drink and fly.
Don't drink. Focus in starting and get the best work because these things are so expensive.
Yeah, but in Italy, sometimes we say, if you drink, you fly faster.
We're supposed to be encouraging kids not to drink, you guys.
Yeah, don't drink. Yeah.
No, don't drink. It's safer.
For me, it's like controlling the nerves it just has to do with breathing. Honestly, everyone holds their breath a lot, and that's where a lot of the symptoms of like shakiness and stuff like that comes from. Is like you have too much carbon dioxide in your system, and that's why like you lose muscle control. Oxygen is very, very important, and getting rid of that carbon dioxide is important. So that's what I focus on.
Thanks. Good.
Yeah, I try to keep my focus by not thinking about the results, you know? If you think, okay, I have to get first place or second place, then you get anxious and you have a lot of pressure on. But if you don't think about that and just think to give all your best and just push your limits, then you can be more focused.
So don't drink. I think we have another Luisa video that we can show of some. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah,
right.
This is my last Italian race, and this is where I won the Italian championship.
Look at this absolute boss moves.
Yeah, you can see the throttle on top left of the screen.
Oh, that's your throttle?
Yeah.
What is throttle? Isn't like speed half, but like is throttle how much you're sending for it to go faster? Is that the?
Yeah, kind of.
What does it mean
Luisa,
when it
Like how
says
much
push?
power?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Luisa, do you use the throttle in 100? I'm
Yeah,
asking you because
my...
the last. I'm sorry. Tell me. I'm sorry.
No, tell me.
It's because let me. The question is because the last week in our training, we tried to put the throttle in 70, 70, and I'm not feel that I go more faster, but I feel more control about my drone. But I'm not feel so good because I need to push more my throttle. And I saw your videos. Maybe you are in 85.
No, I think I'm about 90. Yeah, 90. But on
90. Oh,
my
okay.
transmitter, I have
Okay.
I put
In
on
the
a switch.
transmitter. Oh.
No,
Nothing.
No, on my transmitter I have a switch that I can move to choose like 100% or 90, 95 or 90. But it's really hard to explain. It's even if I go like 100%, it's still 90% on the drone because it's set from Metaflight. So if I put like 85, it's 85 of 90.
Okay. But
that's a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Luisa. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're all coaching each other today.
Yeah.
It's important to share information, I think.
This is true. This is why, I mean, we have the Discord. I think most people are already on it, but I always tell people it's a great source of learning when you have questions, when you need anything. Like, I mean, the DCL stuff where they are more for like troubleshooting things, but to really learn, the community helps each other out so much and hypes each other up, and it's really cool. It's the best way to learn. Is a lot of pilots have said, the pro pilots have said this before, but your best way to learn is join a team, even an amateur team, even if they're not necessarily the best or whatever. It's not about necessarily becoming a pro, I mean, unless that's what you want, obviously, but it's just about having fun, getting better, and beating yourself, essentially. That's what you should
the
be aiming
pilot
for.
I think that the pilots that are in a race is because we are so competitive, okay? And some of pilots are so quiet. I don't know how can I say that, but I will try. They are quiet about the settings and filters in drones and everything like that. And the pass of Sunday, we made I made, let me tell you, I made that track in the park, and we tried to do some race for all the guys to put in Betafly in 50% the trollo, and that was fun. But not good, but really fun. And another guy, he told me, you know what? I'm here some of the top pilot. They don't use the 100% in the trollo. Maybe Minchan, maybe, but I'm not sure. And he told me, how about we if we play with a trollo? and he told me put 50%, and I put my husband drone in a butterfly and 40%. That was. I'm so bad. I'm the bad girl.
That's amazing. That's so good.
and he said, "No, I don't like it because I think this is not good." and no, and then before I told him, you know what? I'm putting 40%, not 50%. You're so bad, girl. And then we put in 7% all the quads, and it's so fun, very very fun. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I need to feel that when you run, I don't know, race, and then when you um stay in the place in the, how can I call the, oh my god, the gate, when you, that's, I don't know, maybe Luisa has a more more best tip, but I'm trying to, my first step is round the most I can do, and when I stay in the gate, do the 50% and try to do the the gates in that thing, and then go more with more trollo, and when I stay in the second gate, do my best in 50 or 40%. That's the one is not working. I think because I'm crash a
lot. What I think is the most important thing is not to be it's not all about speed, because sometimes you can put the fastest time even flying clean. If you manage to have a clean fly, then you have more possibility to get a good time. And when you have done this, maybe you can try to go faster and faster until you arrive to your limit, and that's when you start to improve.
You're right.
I used to make a big mistake in my first 2 years of drone racing, because I went to a turn, and then I gave throttle, and when I had to go out of the turn, I didn't have any throttle left. So if someone was near me, he would pass me, and I was like, why is he faster? Because I was giving too much throttle on the turn. So I understood that when you enter a gate, you have to give throttle, but just before the turn, you it's better to reduce the throttle you're giving, and just maybe go with like 50 or 60% of throttle during the turn, and then you give again. It's like 100% out of the turn, and you're way faster, and you save your battery.
You're right.
Too.
Yeah, that's what happened to me in the last race for MultiGP. There is a long track, and we need to make 3 laps. And my battery are new, and I can make my husband, yes, but because he don't make too much errors. But my mom don't help me too much because I forget the half in the track. But the other thing is that I can because I have in 95% my Trello. When I get one of the gate, I made a lot mistake. I go to another park, maybe. to do that circle. But no, that you're right. You're definitely right. I need to put more less turtle. I will try 80% maybe. Thank you so much.
I think it's about, I guess, trying the different techniques that different people give and then figuring out what works best for you, but yeah, what gives the best results. And who better to take advice from 4-time Italian world champion? It's really badass to say that.
That's why
I
it's
wish.
important to join a group, because some people can tell you something that maybe they have already experienced, and you save your time.
Yep, this is true. You learn a lot from people and the internet. Some of the internet. A few quick PSAs from the DCL side. So we mentioned earlier that DCL is looking for freelance track designers. If anyone is interested, you can get in touch via our socials or whatever for more details. And our partner, the Stavanger region, where you guys all flew the virtual Grand Prix in the season finale, they are looking, so the actual region, not the virtual version, are looking for drone pilots of different sorts for different types of projects, more around cinematographic, etc. But if anyone is interested in working for the Stavanger region and their partners, you guys can check out the DCL website or the pin post on our, I want to say, Instagram, to kind of check details and how to apply for that. And things that you can do that aren't job related. We have the DCL Autumn trials still going on in DCL the game. So take part in that with the team as solo or both, and you can win some really cool prizes courtesy of our amazing sponsor Tovel. There are some backpacks, some lipos, etc. So you guys fly. And we also have a really cool Halloween competition going on social media at the moment, where you don't have to fly DCL the game and you don't have to be the fastest pilot to win. You just have to try. Post a video on Instagram or TikTok, obviously tag us with your trick and treat. So show us your best drone trick and win treats. So the top 3 videos will win DCL merch, with the top 1 getting a DCL 19 canopy as well. I know this is a much requested item that a lot of people have been trying to get their hands on. We don't sell them because they're in very limited edition. So I decided that we're going to be generous on Halloween and someone will win it. But check out our social media or our website, somewhere where we're present, where we explain the details a little bit more on how you can enter and win. Thank you for allowing me that second. Back to you 3. We're going to slowly wrap up as I am very hungry. And I think you guys also have things to do. Are there any final words before the end? No, but anyone in particular you want to thank? Any shout outs? It can be your cat. I regularly give a shout out to my cat, so if that's your thing.
I want to say just... Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll go for it.
Sorry. I just want to say congratulations, you guys. Congratulations. You are awesome. And I want to say thank you so much to my team and Perpetuum to be my team and to accepting me to in their team. Thank you so much. Thank you.
They're lucky to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to my cat, Monster Truck. I love her very much. She gives me great cuddles.
That is an amazing name.
And thanks to Raiden and you, Katera, for believing in me and having me on the team, and to the rest of the Raiden team for supporting me. Thanks to DCL for having me as well. And thank you, Jess, for hosting this amazing get-together.
Thank you.
I obviously want to thank my team, XBlades Racing, for supporting me and for being an amazing team. To me, it's like a real family because I always wanted to join them. So thank you. And what I wanted to say is that drone racing can be a lot of things for many people, and it can mean different things for everyone. But the most important thing is that drone racing can save people, and in particular, it saved me from not moving. And it's just awesome. I have my boyfriend. He's in a wheelchair too, and I got him to start flying. And I noticed that it can really be life-changing because you feel free. So if you fly, you can feel a lot of emotions. And I really want people to understand that it's not something that you can describe until you try it. So it's amazing.
Thank you, Louisa. That's really cool that you could get other people to be able to feel what you feel, and hopefully we'll have a world of people feeling great feelings from drone racing soon. It's really cool that we're in a sport that's accessible to everyone. Well, I mean, it's not blanket everyone, but a fair amount of people that would be excluded from a lot of different types of sports are very welcome in the DCL community, and I find that, or in drone racing as a whole, I find that really lovely. Thank you for that, Lisa.
Thank you.
I would like to thank producer Freshie for producing this show, because you guys don't see Freshie, but it's quite fun to do this project together.
Thank you too,
And
Jessie.
oh,
thank you for your time.
Well,
thank you for your time, guys.
I was gonna thank the three of you so much for your time. I really appreciate you all taking the time to talk to me and being yourselves. You're such amazing people. I always feel so lucky to be able to spend time with you guys. Bye.
Bye.